Manchester City are entering a new era, and their first Premier League game is against Bournemouth side, who finished 6th in the Premier League last season and will now be playing the Europa League football. Pep Guardiola is gone, Enzo Maresca is in, and if City's 3-0 defeat to Arsenal in the Community Shield taught us anything, it is that this is not going to be a simple continuation of the Guardiola era. Bournemouth, meanwhile, are also starting under a new manager, a new chapter under Marco Rose. And so, will City begin Maresca's era with 3 points? Or can Bournemouth pull off another surprise at the Etihad Stadium? Now, let's look at both teams' team news and form. We'll begin with the home side, Manchester City. Maresca's first competitive match, which is the Community Shield, ended in disappointment to Arsenal, where they were beaten 3-0 by the Premier League champions, last season Premier League champions in the Community Shield. But before that though, City's preseason had been encouraging, if you ask me. They played out a 1-1 draw with Inter Milan, followed by wins over the likes K-League, All-Stars and Atletico Madrid. But City biggest concern will probably be their midfield with Rodri, who has completed a move to Barcelona. Tijani Reinders and Bernardo Silva also left earlier in the season, meaning Maresca is having to rebuild a new midfield, which is one of the important areas in his style of play. But the good news for City is that they brought in Elliot Anderson, and the England midfielder could be one of the most important players for Manchester City side going into this game. However, the game decided to pan out. You look at the entire Manchester City squad, and we are looking at their most key players. We'll be looking at the likes of Erling Haaland. The Norwegian pulled 27 Premier League goals last season, and regardless of how these City sides will play, or regardless of how the midfield is going to be, you have to give Haaland the chance that he's definitely going to punish any leaky defense. And for Bournemouth are also coming into this game with completely different kind of confidence. Marco Rose's team scored 20 goals in their first 5 preseason matches, although they lost the final one 2-1 against a German side, Mainz 05. The Cherries also have some injury concerns with Junior Kurupi, who is definitely ruled to be out for like 3 months with a foot injury, while the likes of Tyler Adams, David Brooks and Julio Sola and their new signing Alvaro Rodriguez are among those facing fitness doubts. Kurupi's absence is particularly significant because he scored 13 Premier League goals last season for the Cherries, and he's by far the Bournemouth's most important player. But Bournemouth also have Alex Scott, Ryan, Justin Kluivert and Evanilson, while their new centre-back, Antonio Silva, gives them another quality option at the back. In terms of key player, with Junior Kurupi out, I'm going to look for Ryan. He is one of the players who can definitely make something happen for Bournemouth, because he can give Bournemouth those quick transitions against a City side that will definitely want to push a lot of bodies forward, and those transitions could actually be crucial. So head-to-head statistics, you look at historically, this picture has always tilted towards Manchester City. In their last 20 meetings, City have won 18, Bournemouth have won just one, with one stalemate in between those 20 games. City have also scored 57 goals to Bournemouth's 14 goals across those 20 matches that we are looking at. But Bournemouth did something important last time. That was last season they met. They held City to a 1-1 draw in May, with Junior Kurupi scoring before Erling Haaland later leveled things up in the second half. And here is another interesting stat. Bournemouth scored 9 counter-attacking goals last season. That was the joint most Premier League counter-attack goals last season, while they also Bournemouth at the same time pulled out 14 goals from set pieces. They came second only to Arsenal's set piece record. So if Bournemouth can survive City's possession and attack attack City's spaces behind them, definitely we should as we should see them absolutely having a route into this game, as the game into this game. I also want to give maybe look at possible starting 11s for both teams based on what we see, based on Maresca's previous managerial management, and based on the last projected lineups from City's last Community Shield game. I know I'm seeing City still sticking with the 4-3-3 formation, where Donnarumma will definitely be the man in goal. The back four would comprise the likes of Kusanov, Diaz, Gavejo, and Nico O'Reilly, while the midfield three will have the like of Mateo Kovacic, Elliot Anderson, and Phil Foden, where we see, and then up front we'll definitely see Semenyo and Doku supporting Erling Haaland in attack. So I expect to see that. Anything could change, but I expect Maresca to go with such lineup. While for the Cherries, you know, Cherries has actually, and Makoruz has actually favored the 4-2-3-1 formation. So in that light, I will be looking at Petrovic to be in goal, Janulu, Antonio Silva, Bafiade, and Diakate will definitely make up the back four. And the two man at the middle could have Truffet and Lewis Cook, while Alex Scott, Ryan, and Colivert will be the men are looking to support the likes of Tavernier and Ivanison. Well, obviously these are just my predicted lineups, and they are not confirmed team sheet, and we are expecting there could be changes, and there would not be changes, but I'm just hoping they could go with that. Now, having looked at team news and team form, and also possible lineups for both manager, let us look at the tactical battle for both teams. You know, and Maresca wants possession and control in his style of play. So his City side will definitely want to build with the back four, but they can actually metamorphose, giving you a 3-2-2-3 formation with the likes of Nico O'Reilly moving inside to create more spaces for the midfield to go further. But in the other end, we could have Bournemouth under Marco Rose. They should want to be more aggressive and vertical. You can't, because they always want to be the one to catch up the pace with City. So I expect Bournemouth to press City and attack them quickly whenever they win the ball. But the big question now is, can City's new midfield control the game without Rodri? That is where the biggest question. Now, I think if you watch the Arsenal game, that was where City lacked cohesion, the midfield control. Who was going to be the link, or who is going to be the link between the defense and the attack? That is what that is the vacuum which Rodri has actually created in the current City scene. So, because if City dominate possession, but then they lose the ball cheaply, Bournemouth definitely have players that could give them those pace, structure, and also hurt City on a quick counter attack. So we'll look to see if Mateo Kovacic will be able to cover that void that has been created with the absence of Rodri. We'll see that in the game. I'm expecting Bournemouth to give City a very hard game tomorrow, and as bad as it gets, City should also know that this is not going to be an easy game for them. Now it's time for prediction. Well, I don't think this will be a very comfortable game for City, as those historical records suggest. Bournemouth, however, are very aggressive. They have attacking quality, and City are still definitely learning how to function under a new manager. But at the Etihad, with Haaland, Foden, Doku, and other qualities that City possessed, I'm going to back City. And in my prediction, I'm going to back City to win Bournemouth 3-1 at the Etihad. Well, I'm also looking at both teams to score and Erling Haaland to also be on the score sheet. Well, I think Bournemouth will give City a lot of problems, but eventually I expect City's individual performance and quality to be the difference between the both sides. So, this is the first Premier League test for Enzo Maresca's era. City have the history, the home advantage, and arguably maybe the most stronger squad. Well, but for Bournemouth, they have something that City don't have right now, which is a team that already knows exactly how it wants to play. So I don't think City will play into the hands of Bournemouth, but you know, this is football. Anything can happen. So do you think Bournemouth can shock Manchester City at the Etihad? Drop your predictions in the comment section and let's see how it goes. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any analysis coming from us. Until next time, enjoy the beautiful game. The Premier League is back.